Tip starters have been introduced as the crowd files into their seats here at Continental Airlines Arena. Our Nissan starting lineups: Jacques Vaughn making another start here this afternoon. It will be his 7th of the season alongside Jason Kidd in the backcourt. Up front, Nenad Krstic, Jason Collins, and Vince Carter takes the floor today for his 22nd appearance, as a member of the Nets. Pistons with a starting five that looks like this: Chauncey Billups, Richard Hamilton in the backcourt, and Tayshaun Prince, who continues his emergence in his 3rd NBA season alongside Big Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace. Pistons again have won 5 straight games entering play this afternoon as we take a look at Larry Brown, the Hall of Fame coach, in his 2nd season with the Detroit Pistons, 64 years of age, his 26th season as an NBA head coach. And Larry, of course, in the news recently with the coaching situation with the Knicks. Larry, in the past, had said that was his dream job, and that kind of ruffled some feathers in the Pistons front office, and rightfully so.
It should, absolutely. When you got a job, you shouldn't talk about another job.
Well, Vince Carter's numbers in his new home building, not too shabby. 25 points per game in just 6 appearances. Hard to believe, just 6 games for Carter here at Continental Arena. But again, the Nets have spent much of their time on the road. This marks the beginning of a 5-game homestand. Our officials today: Jim Clark, Sean Corbin, and Tommy Nunez. And it will be Jason Collins and Ben Wallace to tip. And Ben back taps right to Jason Kidd.
Yeah, he won the tip, but he tipped it to the wrong guy there as Kidd comes away with it.
This is the first time, Kelly, since December 7th that the Nets have had 12 players available for a game. Hard to believe. Carter getting right to work from Jason Kidd.
Well, off-screen roll action, a spot-up 3 as Prince got nailed by a screen and never really tried to get out as Vince took his time. Nothing but bottom.
Nets have been beaten handily in the 2 previous meetings against the Pistons this season. It was Rasheed Wallace turnaround short. And now Jason Kidd. Nets' last home loss, in fact, against Detroit back on January 11th.
Interesting matchup as they have Billups guarding Kidd instead of the smaller Vaughn, and Hamilton running around with Jacques Vaughn.
Kidd has had his way historically against Billups. Before Chauncey started to pull away in that semifinal playoff series last season. Rasheed Wallace, his first field goal.
As Rasheed, a very potent scorer, I think, inside, but he just doesn't do it enough. He falls in love with a 3-point shot. That time he knocks down a 15-footer. One of 2 already in the ballgame.
Kidd trying to back down against Billups. Not much of a height disadvantage.
Billups an excellent defender as well. I think they like the more physical type of play and running around trying to contain Jason Kidd.
Billups on the season, 16.5 points. That's better than 6 assists per game. Prince, left-handed stroke. Tayshaun has had a tremendous season for Larry Brown. Of course, all his abilities as a defensive player. And his offensive numbers continue to expand. Carter off the mark.
And Spiro very long, too. That wingspan over 7 foot and enough to distract Vince Carter, at least make him think about it, particularly on that last shot.
Detroit looking for its first lead here in the early going. Step back jumper, Billups, and Jacques Vaughn on the switch, trying to guard Chauncey. Couldn't stop him.
And Jacques giving away some inches there, but Jacques, known as a very solid defender, Spiro, that he'll get after people.
Let's turn it over. It's taken right back as Nenad Krstic able to stuff it.
Yeah, good awareness there and staying with it. Krstic, after the Nets turn it over, takes it right back, and a nice finish.
Krstic involved in that scary situation. You think back to Wednesday night in Boston, had difficulty breathing. Nenad, of course, coming off the flu as the shot clock winds down to 5 seconds. Prince has to make a decision now, guarded by Carter, right to the basket.
Tough shot, too, because he didn't use the backboard. That is a nice little floater by Prince, aware of the shot clock winding down, and does the right thing by taking it inside.
Early shooting numbers in his opening quarter. Nets 2 of 5 here at the start. Vaughn making his 7th start of the season.
That's certainly a key. If Jacques can knock down open jump shots, that time in his rhythm, he knows he has to be able to do that, and he's got to think about shooting it as well.
Vaughn over his last 5 games, Kelly, 11 points on average. Richard Hamilton on a way off target.
Good defense, though, by Vaughn.
Jacques changing his mind and finds Jason Collins. And the big fella rewarded for running the floor.
And part of it, again, off to a good start as far as shooting the basketball. That's been a key when they've won ball games over the last couple of weeks. A high percentage in getting open looks.
Just to get back to Kristich, those difficulties with his upper respiratory system, breathing, of course, coming off the flu, something that is not uncommon. Kristich had to leave that game in the second quarter and did not return, but talking to Nets assistant trainer Drew Graham, Maynard is starting to get back to 100%. Here's Carter, picks up the loose ball, and Vince now 1 of 3 here at the start.
A little off balance on that one as Vince couldn't go up straight.
Pistons on the season, 10 games over 500, 28-18. As they battle the Cavaliers for the top spot in the Central Division. Ben Wallace, double team, shot clock down to 5, and Collins snatches it away from Prince. A 2-on-1, Vaughn. And Jason Kidd, the recipient.
Well, inside defense from Collins, the key there is he stayed with Ben Wallace, and they get a knockaway and a little bit of a scrum. They come out running.
Both teams have been off since Wednesday. Detroit a 15-point win at home over the Hawks. And the Nets, of course, that lopsided loss in Boston.
Here's the defense we talked about. Collins and Carter wrap them up, and now the loose ball as Collins comes away with it, and now an instant 2-on-1 as Jacques Vaughn does a nice job at the last handoff to Kidd.
And if you're just joining us, the Nets welcoming back both Zoran Planinic, his second-year guard, as well as Ron Mercer. There is Billups, and a foul is called.
Body control there. Chauncey Billups turning the corner. Collins picks up his second there as he took the contact. Watches Billups. He has his eyes on the rim, and here comes Collins. Stays with it. Hang time. Bucket. And the foul.
As Kelly points out, Jason Collins picking up a quick second personal. And Lawrence Frank wasting no time. Calls on Jabari Smith.
You know, Spiro, when you look at that front liner we talked about in the top of the show, very athletic, and they can get guys in foul trouble because of that athleticism. A lot of versatility when you look at Rasheed and Ben and Tayshaun Prince. So, you know, Collins usually an outstanding defender. Unfortunate they battled some foul problems. He goes to the bench with an early 2.
Well, this front line that Detroit possesses, one of the reasons why Pistons fans have not necessarily panicked or did not panic when the team was struggling back in November and December. Jason Kidd, his 3rd bucket.
Nice job in the post area, a little fadeaway against Billups.
All big bodies that are as skilled as the Pistons. You feel good about your chances if you can just keep yourself in contention. Here is Jabari Smith. Carter cross court to Jay Kidd. Now Kristich. Does not look for a shot here at the start. Jacques Vaughn.
Good look, though. He had a nice little give back as the Pistons give it back on the turnover.
And that's the second turnover by Larry Brown's Pistons. And we will get our first stoppage. 6:21 left to play. Nets getting reacquainted with their home fans. Stay with us. Pinstripes, where Yankee baseball returns Monday, March 7th, only on Yes.
Pitchers and catchers in about a week.
And one of Kelly T's favorite musical acts, I guess you could call him, Jay-Z, in attendance.
Like the hat.
Cap. Oh, you're a fan of his work. You can admit it.
I don't rap very well.
There's Zoran Planinic.
Except with you.
Only off air, though. We don't subject the fans to any of that. You saw almost looks like a
protective glove there.
Glove that Zoran has on that left hand. Of course, the fracture.
Just for insurance, certainly.
See how long Planinic stays with that. How it hinders his ball handling. Vince Carter, a long 2-point field goal.
And Jim Clark giving the inches sign there, and 2 fingers meaning almost a 3, but not quite.
Lawrence Frank pacing the sidelines, barking out some defensive instructions. Nets lead is 6. Tayshaun Prince. A little shot put delivery with the left hand. And a whistle stops play. This one is against Detroit. They get Chauncey Billups.
Vince Carter. The reaction. No. Well, Jim Clark, he gave the signal. Good job.